I'm Ed Bentley, and I've been asked by Reverend Mike to host this introduction to a program by which we are inviting everyone in the Eastminster Church family to join us in stepping out of the boat together. That invitation comes from the gospel story of Simon Peter, who, as he and his friends were struggling with high waves during a dark and stormy night, was terrified by the vision of someone walking toward them on the water. Assuming this couldn't be good, they cringed in panic until the vision spoke, and they realized it was Jesus, the one they had chosen to follow. After reassuring them that all was well, Jesus called Peter to step out of the boat, and in that moment, in those very difficult circumstances, Peter had to make a choice. How would he respond to the call? Would he trust Jesus enough to actually step out of the boat? As a community of faith, we find ourselves in circumstances that are very different, but perhaps just as difficult. There are storms raging around all churches today, and we're no exception. Some of the effects of COVID are probably irreversible. We truly celebrate the young families who are making their church home with us, but when we older folks look around on Sunday morning, we know the majority still look like us. God has given us a mission that is at least as important as it has ever been. Unfortunately, our resources of volunteers and income are not currently sufficient to meet the challenge. At the same time, however, we can feel a new energy in the congregation, a renewed enthusiasm for the future that might be. In a few short months, Reverend Mike has inspired us with a vision of that future, and his ministry is giving us tools we need to get there. He has told us that he felt God's call to be our lead minister. God called. He responded. Now it's time for us to hear God's call and then have both faith and courage enough to respond. Like Peter that night on the sea, this is a time to very intentionally step out of the boat together. Reverend Mike has recruited a team of ambassadors to help design and support a program that is running throughout the fall. The ambassadors are Carolyn Van Horn Coffey, Rick McGrath, Evelyn Mitchell, and Polly Nichols. The program is called Stepping Out Together. God calls, we respond, and it has several components. Sunday services will continue to develop the theme as we focus on the story of Moses, who, like Peter long after, heard a call and had to decide how he would respond. As well, we've created a package of materials to go to every Eastminster household. In it, you'll find a covering letter from Reverend Mike and an information sheet that answers questions many are asking. We think it will be helpful. It may even answer questions you haven't even asked yet. The package also contains 2 forms that allow us to state how we will respond to God's call to step into our shared future with courage and with faith. One lists the wide variety of roles that volunteers can play in our life and work. Even if they are limited, we've all received gifts of time and talent that we can share. Maybe all we can do is pray for our church. Well, could anything be more important? But for most of us, there is more we could do if we are asked. Now we're being asked. So how will we respond? The other form allows us to indicate how we intend to support Eastminster financially in 2026. Our personal circumstances are changing all the time. What is possible today might be a real hardship in 6 months. Likewise, our personal finances may improve. That's why we're asked to name just what we intend to contribute as we are able by the grace of God. Our responses in both these forms are vitally important. The volunteer forms will be shared with church leaders who plan and lead programs and activities. The financial intention forms will be strictly confidential and given only to those who already have access to our personal information. However, the totals and trends in giving will provide invaluable data for those who plan future initiatives and create budgets. As I said, Reverend Mike has invited ambassadors to help with this program. We've asked several of them to tell us why they have agreed to help.
Hi. I have worked on this kind of program in the past, so I know how important it is. It is invaluable for helping leaders with planning, with scheduling, with knowing there is someone to call for help, with knowing who would like to be called. The program celebrates the significance of every member and adherent in our church family, whatever our age or circumstances, because everything each of us does or gives makes a difference. I believe with God's help, Eastminster has a great future. And with your faith and involvement, this program will help to get us there.
And as a member of the finance team and a member of Eastminster, I want to find out where finance and faith meet. I don't want it to be something that is overbearing to people or a must-do or something like that. I want to see people get involved in the church. I think that's the biggest, most important thing that I do. Not only are we here on a Sunday, and lots of our friends and family are here, but we're here on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as well. The church parking lot can be full any day of the week. And I love that so much is going on at the church. And to keep that going, we have to remember that we have to plan for the future budgets and projects so that we have a realistic idea of the resources we can expect from the congregation. Every completed intention form provides a piece of the puzzle we need to create. Another reason why this program matters to me is that as a relatively new member, I appreciate the information contained in the package. The more I know about the church, the more involved I want to be.
I often help behind the scenes to support our financial operations and know, first of all, how generous are those who support the church's life and work. But I also know the challenges we face if we are to sustain and even expand this wonderful ministry. We will only meet those challenges if we work together. To step out in faith is for each of us to review the part we play with our gifts of time, talent, and money. This program gives us a chance to do just that.
Now it's up to you. First, make sure you get your package, pick up your own and as many as you can deliver to others who could not attend in person. There are some who are new to Eastminster and may not yet be in our church's database. If there is not a package with your name on it, take one that is not addressed and add your name to the list provided. Then we're all asked to carefully read the material. If you have any questions, leave your name and number at the church office and one of those ambassadors will contact you. Then take the time you need to prayerfully complete both the volunteer and financial intention forms. The package includes a special envelope for returning them. If we believe that we are called to be part of Eastminster and its mission as we move into a new chapter, then this is how we can answer that call. We're also receiving an envelope to make a special Thanksgiving donation to the general fund. These gifts can express the sincerity of our thanksgiving and also help meet this year's financial challenges. In very different times, both Moses and Peter were called by God. They were reluctant and imperfect in their own ways, but when they did respond, God used them to do wonderful things. Imagine how wonderfully God will use us if we are willing to step out of the boat together.